welcome to, Mohican Haunted Schoolhouse now. It used to be formerly Lessons in Fear. Currently, today, you're going to be kind of going through the haunt as it was last year's season. You're going to be going around the corner and here in the Slaughterville. Slaughterville was our interactive thing. I say interactive because next year it's no longer going to be an interactive queue line. It's going to be a full-on addition to the haunt. But for today, you're going to go right around the corner. There's a few characters back there, a few sets. Feel free to take photos of whatever you like. If you ask the actors, they love to ham it up. But after them, you're going to be in the queue line for them to send you into the actual haunt. They'll check your wristbands, since you have those and not the tickets. And they'll be sending you in. It's 3 floors, 20 to 30 minutes, sometimes longer. You're in no rush, self-guided. There is no purposeful contact here. You might bump into somebody in the dark. Feel free to say boo. They're probably going to be just as scared of you as you are of them. And, of course, take your time on the steps. There are no scares on the steps, and just have a good time. Thanks for coming in.
155 West 3rd Street in Perrysville, Ohio, 44864 is where you will find this place. It was, not too long ago, a fully functioning schoolhouse. Built in 1924. It's about 20 minutes from Mansfield, Ohio, which is where the Mansfield Reformatory is, which is where the Shawshank Redemption was filmed, which is where Blood Prison was also filmed. Every time I say Blood Prison now, I get nervous.
He had a little mini flub up.
I did.
I don't know if you guys caught him, and none of you have called us on it yet, so I'm going to leave it alone.
No, but it just happens to be one of the most viewed videos we've ever made.
Thank you for watching, John. We appreciate it.
But, so, we, I called it Castle Blood. So, accidentally. And I felt really bad about it. And I wanted to just fix it there, but Trish was like, no, it's already out there. So every time I say it now, I always get a little nervous. Have a lot of respect for Blood Prison. It is definitely Blood Prison. But anyways, that's neither here nor there. Just I had to get that off my chest. Just had to release that burden that I've held inside here for so long over the past 4 days. But anyways. Fully functioning school, built in 1924, 20 minutes away from Mansfield, Ohio. Only year 3 for this haunt. And if you haven't had the opportunity to go, like we've already said, shut the fuck up and go. But if you have, you know how special of a place this already is. They have absolutely perfected haunted houses.
They really have. And, with talking to them, and I think you'll be able to tell just a little bit with the interviews and stuff, they think they're still growing, and I'm telling you right now, they're there.
Yeah, I'm excited.
I'm excited to see what else they do if they feel like they're still growing.
I am as well. Now, we always talk about queue line interaction and ticket prices and everything like that. Now, this is one particular aspect that I do disagree with Lessons in Fear on. I understand their point. I love what they're planning on doing with the queue line. I think it's great. They'll talk about it in the interview some. But they don't offer Fast Pass. They have their reasonings for it. Their reasonings sound. There is no argument I can present that really negates what they said. I understand it from their point of view. But in the same aspect, it's something that I like to see. So, that is one of the very, very few things that I was kind of on. Now, their queue line interaction is great.
It's phenomenal.
They had just a couple actors out there, I think 3, the night we were out there, which was more than sufficient for the crowd that was there. The tall clown did an excellent job. There was the kind of scarecrow-looking thing.
Man, that chirp.
Yeah, that scared the shit out of you.
Yes, it did.
Absolutely got her. I knew it was there. I knew for sure it was there. I caught that one, and I was kind of proud of myself because Trish got scared. And, you kind of keep score sometimes going through these, 1 to 2.
I think I won this one.
Shut up. But as I was rounding the corner, and here we go with the second candidate for Actor of the Year already. The gentleman that was wielding the chainsaw around the corner. He was silent. He waited. He didn't have to jump out and get the scare immediately. He waited until I was in the perfect position, walking away a little bit, fired the chainsaw up, was right beside me, and gave me a real, honest, genuine scare. And then we talked about it in the OHHC wrap-up a little bit, what he did to Maximus. and with Maximus's panties. So we're not going to jump into all of that all over again. We don't want to repeat ourselves too awfully much.
But it was mentionable.
But he was phenomenal. And then he kept coming back. And he would interact with the people that were leaving, interact with the people that were coming back. And kept bouncing back and forth, always active, always moving around. And knew how to handle the Q-line position perfectly. So he is on the board with Boris right now from Castle Blood as the two early candidates, two early favorites. Long way to go. Long hot season ahead. But they are on the boards. Boris, and for now we're going to call him Chainsaw Man because we don't have a different name for him.
Hey, if you're watching and you know who you are, let us know who you are.
Yeah, that way we don't have to call you Chainsaw Man forever. But when we're talking about the Q-line, a little sneak peek into what they're doing, they have a huge gymnasium, as you would expect, inside of a haunted attraction, or inside of a schoolhouse, excuse me. And, right now they utilize it for different things, but they thought, well, why not make our Q-line completely indoor? We can have all types of TV set up and lights and snacks and all this other stuff going on. And I'm very, very excited about that, to see that going on for 2019. I cannot wait to see how they put it all together. John and Flo, the way their minds work together, John is kind of the hands-on creator of a lot of this stuff. And he obviously has his input as well. But Flo seems to be the...
She's the twisted sister.
Yeah, the one that kind of helps put it all together, kind of has that little crazy side. And the thing about John and Flo as well that I really wanted to point out, we have seen people that love what they do and love doing these things. They take it to another level. They're passionate about this. They were home haunters beforehand, and now they're killing it out in the big leagues. Excuse me. Out in the big leagues of Ohio. And Ohio is the big leagues, man. It is the mecca for haunted houses right now. Absolute powerhouses in Ohio. Almost everywhere you look, and they are among the best. They're just as good as anybody else out there right now.
We've seen quite a few of them in Ohio now, and we haven't touched it.
Yeah. So we got to talk about Luke a little bit more than what we did originally. Luke was the guy that we got to go through the haunted attraction with. And, yeah.
I've never left a haunted attraction with tears of laughter in my eyes so much as watching Luke's interaction with going through this haunted house.
There's one room we wanted to talk about in particular, the classroom. So you walk into this big open classroom, and there's a couple little props and stuff all around everywhere. There's the teacher up front, and she looks all messed up. And I walked in, and you got to remember, we had just done the walkthrough the day before, so I was pretty familiar with the room and the props. I'd seen it, in full light. And I walked through, and I see something new that wasn't there the day before, and I knew beyond a shadow of doubt that it was a person. That was a real, genuine actor or actress sitting there, waiting for me to make the mistake of getting too close. And I remember looking at Luke and going, that wasn't there yesterday. And then Luke, almost in a panic, was just like, well, then just go, man. Just go. Let's just get out of here. And I started off at first doing that, and then I couldn't help myself. I turned back around.
I kept going.
Because I had to know. I had to know for sure. And Luke looked back at me with almost this look of panic of, well, why are you doing this? You already said you know how this story ends. And you're just going to go do it anyways. I did go do it anyways, and she scared the shit out of me. She came unglued, rose up out of there, and the best part about it was she listened to all that interaction with Luke and I, and me calling her out almost immediately, and didn't let it faze her. She didn't move. She didn't react to it initially. Just, let Luke and I continue to interact and set our own selves up. And then when the timing was right, and I thought, I'm going to walk up on this thing real quick, and she rose up out of there, that was a good one. That was a very, very good one. And then, God damn it, Flo got me. And I know that she wanted to.
She did.
She was kind of hinting at it that she was really going to try. And I walked into the lab. I knew it was her. Like, the moment I walked in there, I was like, that's Flo for sure. Right there. And she called me out on my tattoos and offered me the opportunity to banter back and forth with her, which from the interview before, she knew I would.
Yeah.
And she knew I would bite on that, and I did. I did bite on that. So I start bantering back and forth with her, and her partner, during all of this, sneaks up behind me and scares the fucking shit out of me again. So it was twice. And I don't scare in these things, and that was twice. And to be honest with you, they got me a third time too. The third time they got me, we were walking through the little foggy area.
Oh yeah,
where you
They got
can't,
you good.
yeah, you can't see beneath you. We knew there was an actor in there, at least two. They'd already told us there was going to be at least two in there. They come up behind it. He jumps up out the fog at me and everything else. 3 times. 3 times the Lessons in Fear for sure got me. And I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry. I should be better than that. I should be better than allowing Lessons in Fear to snag me up 3 times. But they snagged me up 3 times, daggone it. So anyways, it brings us down to the last part of this particular review point, which is our rating system. Now, 4 categories, right? Environment, acting, scare factor, and overall. Now, environment. We will start off by giving them an awesome score of 8 out of 10. Tons of artwork that was local artwork. All types of horror scenes. All types of horror genres. If you wanted the sci-fi side of horror, you got that. If you wanted the old school style of horror, you got that. If you wanted the Texas Chainsaw Massacre style of horror, they have a Dead and Breakfast that screams that style of horror. They gave you all types of different possibilities and different opportunities. So what kept them away from the 10? Why didn't, if it was that enjoyable, why only an 8? Nitpicking a little bit, but the hallways could be a little blah at times. There were, just kind of darkness at times, and light effects.
And the light effects, great. I just know from the experience of the rest of the haunt, I want to see something more in some of those hallways because I know it can happen. Yeah,
absolutely. So the environment was solid, 8 out of 10. Acting, phenomenal job. No actors or actresses that we can look back on and say that we were disappointed in or that we didn't like. Only went with a 9 out of 10 simply because 10 requires perfection. And that wasn't quite there. And it wasn't even necessarily their fault, but it is what it is to achieve that 10. Needed just a few more. Needed just a few more. There were some empty spacing in between there, and I think they did a great job with what they had, but wasn't quite that 10. It was close. It was super close. Just not quite all the way there. Scare factor, I had to go with a 9. We had to go with a 9. They got me. They got his ass good 3 times. Yeah, and again, why it doesn't get the 10? It is the best, the absolute best that it could have been without there being that touch element. Maybe a little bit of brushing with actors and stuff like that, but without them actually getting more hands-on, they have the fear level at just the perfect spot. Awesome scares, and not cheap scares. They get some good, genuine scares. Yeah. The way they set these rooms up and the way they do things, and I applaud it. Overall experience, solid score, one of the best since we have started doing these reviews.
Best, is it not?
9 out of 10, no, the Basement had them.
The Basement got them.
But absolutely one of the best. And again, that's in a new category this year.
Yeah.
They don't even compete with each other this time around. So highest walkthrough haunt score that we've ever given out, 9 out of 10. John and Flo, amazing job, folks. You guys killed it. And if anybody is even thinking about going, if you're going
Candace,
to be...
you said you want to go. You gotta go.
Yeah, just go.
You gotta go.
Shut the fuck up and go, Candace.
They get
Shut the fuck up and go. Yeah, seal of approval.
Seal of approval.
Shut the fuck up and go. Seal of approval has been given to Lessons in Fear, to Mohican Haunted Schoolhouse, to John and Flo's House of Pain, whatever you want to call it. They have been reviewed and approved. Welcome. We are getting ready to sit down with John, and the lovely Flo is over there walking around. Can't see her right now, but she's over there, I promise. Been talking with John and Flo for a few minutes now. Awesome people that started from humble roots of just doing some home haunts to now being one of the top dogs out here. Also, it was originally known as Lessons in Fear. They just changed the name this year, right?
Yeah, we're just rolling it over, yep.
Okay.
Last year we were on the Midwest tour from Columbus
Okay.
as one of the haunts that were on the bus tour. Really the reasons why, Lessons in Fear was kind of a cool haunt name, but what Kelly suggested and what others suggested was really if you can get what it is and where it is, kind of location-wise, into your name, it's going to really help people in their head think of where it is. Mohican State Park is right behind us. All the vacation spots for Mohican.
So how often do you go through a major set change? You've been in this location since, I believe you said 2014?
Yes.
We opened in 2016, and the first part was the new school, the 1957 school. We did the basement and most of the second floor, and then you exit it. The next year we added the classroom and the upstairs to the public, and then this year we kind of just enhanced everything.
We're refining everything to the point of whatever mildly worked before, we're making it work better.
Okay.
Plus we're really getting in and starting to detail in a lot of stuff that, again, when you're a small crew.
Yeah.
And again, advice Kelly brought up like 2 years ago, you know, it's got, because when we bought the building, we had to get it running again.
Yeah.
So we were all proud and pleased, and we got it all clean and shiny, and they're all like, it's going to be a haunt, right? Because you got like shiny, clean floors, and
We got told
you
that's
fix the walls and everything, but they look like nice, clean walls, like you could open the school again. And we're like, you know. Right now we're an actor-driven haunt,
That's
so
the
we
best
depend
ones.
on the actors
That's the best ones.
to give the show, and our job is really to provide sets and rooms that they can kind of come in and have fun in.
Very cool.
So that's kind of where we're at right
You've
now.
got the right mindset for it. Out of the many haunts that we've been to, we've seen the animatronics, we've seen the big smoke shows and the strobe lights and everything, and it's cool and it has its place. No doubt
Without the
about it.
actors, you have nothing.
Exactly, man. They make or break the show every single time.
Absolutely.
You can have the best set in the world, and if your actors suck, your show sucks. And I mean, we've been to several, and it just every time, man, it always boils down to how those actors and actresses do it.
Yeah.
So that's the right mindset to have for sure. So you're talking about some of the renovations and some of the stuff that you're looking at detailing and sprucing up. Without giving away too much, because they've already been nice enough, we're going to take you behind the scenes here just a little bit, give you just a small taste of some of the stuff that's inside here, which is a first ever for us, a first ever for you guys. So thank you all for allowing that and working with us on that.
Excited. We're loving it.
But so with the 2019 haunt season, this is correct me if I'm wrong, but kind of seems like a little bit of a farewell tour to everything here. You know, we're sprucing it up, we're making it better. Is there maybe one particular thing you want to share that's kind of got you on the edge of your seat, really excited to maybe debut in 2019 without giving too much away?
Well, we went to 13th floor, and we went to the Valentine's haunt events at 13th floor and at
Eckering Schoolhouse.
Ekman Schoolhouse. And they had indoor waiting, and it was fun listening to the music and getting pumped up, and we thought we need an indoor queue line, and I'm a kind of hard rocker. I would like some hard rock music, and maybe not to his taste, but
That's all right.
It
We're
makes
hard
us
rock
happy.
enthusiasts. We love it. We love it. We were jamming the whole way up here today.
and I like my Alice Cooper and stuff like that. So, but anyhow, we said, well, you know what? Right now we use this whole gymnasium for our actors, and when we have our parties, when we have seminars or classes. It's like we could cut off an area of this and really have it be an indoor queue line.
That's awesome.
And but John said, well, how are we gonna get outside, back out to Slaughterville? It's gonna be a little odd to go back out and go through Slaughterville and downstairs. And I said, we reverse it.
And I really have to applaud you on number one, taking the time to think about the queue line. There's a lot of haunts that kind of go, well, you got to wait to get in, and just stand there and kind of deal with it.
It can really be one of the best parts of the haunt when done right.
And that's what we thought. I know we went in the cooler weather, but really, if you're waiting in an area that's got a little bit of atmosphere going already, now we don't even mind waiting in line.
Not at all.
And it feels like it's extending your experience at the haunt, because every minute you're standing there, you're getting all jazzed up to actually get in. So that's kind of what we really want, is your waiting period time not to be terrible.
Yeah. When you stand in that queue line, it's easy to pick the actors out and go, okay, they're over there, okay, they're over there. And you can almost kind of keep tabs on them, especially if you're somebody that's nervous and, you know, maybe a little anxious to be there. You can keep tabs on them and kind of follow them easier. When you're in an atmosphere like this and you got the TVs going and the music and everything else, and you're interacting with everybody, all of a sudden you get lost in where you are, and then that opens that door wide open for that queue line actor to come in and get their scare and get it right.
Always a distraction.
Yes.
So if you can get the lighting, we can change the color anything we need. So maybe not paint it so that we can reflect different colors and change them constantly. And if you're looking around and you're just kind of enjoying the moment, and the music's kind of loud, and you're like, this is kind of cool waiting in here, and we thought this would be a nice spot. We could maybe sell some pop or water or drinks. That was all my problems of how do I keep the customers protected from the weather even.
How can I put this? I feel everybody deserves the same treatment for their money.
Yeah.
I'm a nurse. I feel every patient deserves the same care. I feel every customer that comes through the door, just because you paid more money and you had more money to pay, I don't think I don't want to value you more than the person.
So we've always
whatever they're paying, it's a lot of money. It might be a lot of money to people, and I'm not a
meaning fast pass.
I know their haunts can do what they want, but that's just not my thing.
We've been there. So again, when we stand in line, and then all of a sudden people are scooting past you, and you've been waiting and waiting and waiting, you get it, they're paying more. But there's a little thing in your head that goes, you know, should be my turn coming up here pretty soon. You know, kind of like, and I could see, and it's good learning because almost everyone does it.
Yeah.
You just got to remember that, hey, if you're doing it, you just can't shut down your ticket buyers and just run the fast passes and have your big corral of ticket buyers stand there and watch everyone go in front of you. Because after a little bit, as much fun as it's going to be for the regular ticket holder, you're going to start going, you know what? That wasn't fun to stay an extra 2 hours in line while I watched 100 people, everybody go through.
But that's just
That's just us.
No,
That's just us.
I
That's
get
just
it.
us.
It's you know, but
And
it's,
it's, you know, let the others do what they want.
but, you know, it's an interesting point that you bring up with the Fast Pass. We've been big proponents, big supporters of Fast Pass, honestly, and we don't always take advantage of it, but we've always kind of liked the haunts to present both options.
Yeah.
But the thing is, number one, everything that you said is true. Absolutely true. Everybody should be treated equally, and I get that from that point. And then what you've done with your queue line, or what you're going to do with your queue line in 2019, it's almost, and probably not intentional, but you're almost thumbing your nose at Fast Pass in a really perfect way, because you're going, all right,
Let's
so
entertain you.
yeah, so yeah, okay, I get it. You can pay $15 more and you can get in an hour and a half quicker, you know, down the block at Joe Blue's haunted house. Or you can come here and you're going to wait as long as everyone else, but we're going to entertain you the whole time that you're here. Unlike at Joe Blue's, where you're just going to stand in line and you're going to stand in line and you're going to stand in line. So it makes me think about my opinion on Fast Pass. Honestly, it really does. You know,
I mean, I get the Fast Pass because there's people who don't have the time either.
Yeah.
So I get it. Or if you're trying to cover other haunts,
Yeah.
and you're trying to go bop, bop,
That's
bop,
usually our
bop,
case.
and that's
We're trying
usually
to
the
hit
case.
like
You're
one or
trying to
two.
hit 2 or 3, and then you almost have to do that because otherwise
You
you
guys
won't,
gotta hit
you won't
it.
make it. So I get kind of the importance of it to a degree, but mentally, I think our goal is to try to strive to, if that's not you, then to make you not mind buying a standard ticket and getting entertained and having a place where you're like, well, it wasn't bad. You know,
Yeah,
getting entertained,
no,
it's not bad. If you don't have to jump out of here fast, or you're not under a time constraint, we want it to be worth your while to come with a normal ticket and be like, well, I got pretty good, bang for my buck. And
Absolutely.
when we do the fast pass, because everyone does, and eventually we'll do, but we always have to remember, and I've kind of always watched, because you'd sometimes be in line, you'd watch the fast passers go past you.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's nice if they're going past you and you don't have to watch them, or you can kind of do it in a way where it's not visibly,
Not as in your face.
it's not in your face.
Yeah. Yeah.
So if you can do like a little hidden corner or something to kind of arrange it for a few to get them going and kind of splice it in with your regular guys, it's not as bad. I just think we've been in places where the line stops, and then you see people running back out of line paying the extra for the fast pass because nothing's moving. So they're coming back around, jump in front, and you're like, geez, we're never going to get through now unless you turn around and go back and pay the extra.
Yeah.
So that's kind of what we're trying to entertain you normally. We realize why people do it. And it's not that we're against it, it's just we really are striving to, for your standard ticket, give you the biggest bang so you don't mind.
Yeah.
Because I think it's cool getting jazzed up to go. And outside or inside, when you get the actors kind of floating around with the crowd, you can see the energy building in the people in line.
Absolutely.
To the point where they can't almost wait, or when it's their turn, they're like already freaked out, from waiting in line, that they're like, oh my God, I don't know if I can go the rest of the way. So.
And another thing I really feel firm about is once it is your turn and you go up our staircase, I really want a minimal amount of people, because we've been to a few that it's our turn. And you get through the door and, there's another line.
There's another line.
So
Like,
I think, we'll look at that too, so that they have fun. And we also had an art contest here. That was my son's baby. He's got his degree in studio art. And we had an art mural contest. And we have some really fun art that you're going to see going up. And we want people to be able, I'm happy that they're going to start up their staircase because they're going to see this artwork that this one artist did that's really fun and gets you in the spirit too.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Very cool. Very cool. So we got a few more questions for them. So we have gotten into, since we started doing this, we've gotten into immersive theater and the immersive terror genre a little bit more than what we ever initially intended. And while there's no doubt that the walkthrough haunt will always be the king of haunted houses, there's no doubt about it, it will always be top dog. There's no denying that places like Shock Theater and Stag and Miasma and some of these other places are on the up and up, and the popularity that's growing. This is a no-touch haunt, right?
Actually, we changed that because we had some people, I remember...
I'm getting very excited right now.
Actually, we changed the wording from originally no touch, they won't touch you, you shouldn't touch them, to you may come in contact. And the reason is occasionally you do brush up against people, you can't help it. I still remember the first year as an actress, a bunch of, they looked like they're 11 years old, and these little boys came through in a line and they go, if they touch you, you can sue them. And I thought, And I said, you think I'm not going to touch you? I didn't touch them, but I got right
I
up
love
in
that
their
little
face.
moment that just came out right there. That was beautiful.
And I had my little big old syringe.
she acted during it too, so yeah, she was there.
And then they cringed some
made
more,
up.
and I thought, what a crappy thing to say. I mean, that you come in to be entertained, and that's a, we're gonna see.
Is this gonna be scary? It better not be scary. You're like,
That's what you pay for.
it's a haunt.
Our thing is, we would like to actually, maybe work with, but our actors need training, and they also have to understand that someone's reaction, if you do it to the wrong person, they could hit you, they could hurt you.
Yep.
So our thing is, I want our actors to be safe. I always told them, be careful. We're thinking more of maybe extenders, like a hand on a
Touch on the
swing
back of the
needle.
shoulder.
I mean,
or puppets.
something kind of in that where it's not quite, grab you around your neck, pull you backwards down the hall and stuff like
We
that,
have to
drag
see
you
how
around.
that goes. I mean, when we went to Michigan Erebus, they actually had a lot of puppets that came out and grabbed you. And it was the only time I ever peed. And, it's because of my 50-some-year-old bladder, but the little guy, the little troll thing grabbed me. And then he got rammed by the dog thing. And, so it's kind of fun.
Possibilities are there.
Not,
there.
not for this event so much. You may come in contact with people because, there is close proximity.
Absolutely.
But,
Very
so-
cool. I like that you're open to the idea of expanding on that more down in the future and looking into that. It adds just this whole other dynamic and sense to a haunt that, especially if it's done right. You don't have to be grabbing somebody by their throat and jerking them down the hallway.
Or waterboarding.
To do
We
it
will
right.
be waterboarding.
Yeah, simple as we took a lights out tour at one that does light contact, and Trish is in front of me, and they take her away with her glow stick, and then I'm in this room with darkness, and I just feel these hands just running all up and down my face and arms, and that's all. They're not grabbing me or throwing me or anything like that, but it's genuine creepiness that you're not going to get any other way than that touch there.
You're
It's
going down a
another
dark
sense,
hall.
It's the tactile sense, and it's very good.
Even if you're walking together and you're kind of walking, all of a sudden you feel another hand on your shoulder or on your arm. You're kind of like,
And it's fun, sometimes if you see the right group and you insinuate, and the person, you insinuate yourself in the group, and the person behind it is like, oh yeah, when my friend turns around and sees that I'm not behind him, they're gonna flip. I mean, there's things they can do that are fun, that are a lot of fun.
So over the years, do you have a favorite theme or maybe a favorite room that you've created, or a favorite scene that just sticks out and you're like, man, you know what? Out of all of them, that was really it right there, what we had going on.
Well, everyone, my baby in the beginning was the bed and breakfast. And I know John just hated that idea. And I said, no, I want bed and breakfast. And then I had the idea for the Jaded Bride, and we'll probably be changing that up this year. I have an idea for a seamstress this year, because I got some wonderful old sewing machines at Salvation Army that still work.
Sneak peek. Shh.
But anyhow, the Jaded Bride was kind of my idea in the beginning, and she had her collection of men who had disappointed her, and all men had disappointed her.
That sounds like a bad room for me to probably be in.
so it's more of a residential feel in that room.
Really, I know that you apparently weren't a fan of it initially. I think that the bed and breakfast is really a beautiful idea. I've obviously haven't seen it yet, but when I think back to Texas Chainsaw Massacre, I can't remember which movie it was, but I think maybe the second one. They made 100 other things, but there's one particular scene that stuck out with me. I mean, just in horror movies in general, when they have their victims sitting there at the table and
The
they
dining
have
room
that
scene with
yes,
Grandpa sucking on the finger.
There's always
They
something.
cuts that girl's tongue out right in there and everything. Man, that was one of the craziest horror scenes I can ever remember. And I don't scare easily. It takes a lot. And I can remember watching that scene, having moments of just, oh man, it needs to stop. Like, this has gone on long
too
enough
much.
now.
Too much for me, and I'm a horror person.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
Stop. It's crossing the line.
And then to put somebody into that room and make them watch it for a second, that's a beautiful idea. A lot of haunted houses, a lot of haunted attractions. Always have some story about them being genuinely haunted. Do you guys believe that this place has some genuine haunt factor going to it?
If you want to see a scary spot, you should see the boiler room. It's not that.
In the old days, that was your job. I mean, if you were a
There was
janitor,
a coal furnace originally here.
I mean,
you
these
could
guys
see
would
the
have to work
coal.
all night long, so when the kids came to school, the building was hot or warm.
Yeah.
So it would be an all night. They don't go home at 4 or 5 with everyone else. They'd be here working all night or through the night or
And they were
sleeping here
devoted.
sometimes. So I think in the old days, teachers, people that worked for the schools, that was your lifelong job.
They were devoted.
And if maybe
This
that was your
their
job for
school. This was
30,
their
40
school.
years, then you retired or passed away, I mean, that was your one and only. And a lot of it, I think, is just, it's like going through the motion. It's almost like, not that they're haunting, but sometimes
It's just their spots.
it's the energy is still going
That was
through in the
their
same
home.
areas. It's
That
their
was their
home.
life.
I like to think it's almost like, because I'm, a nurse, I like to rationalize everything, that it's like a thumbprint. You left a thumbprint.
Is there a particular area that you all see more activity, or even an area that everybody's just kind of like, yeah, probably don't go there by yourself?
Upstairs, mostly for me.
Both of you automatically went.
Very quickly. All right. Well, before we have you all take us out on the little bit of the sneak peek behind the scenes, which I am so excited about. Thank you all for doing that. That's such a privilege.
That's fun.
But we always like to let you have the opportunity to have the floor for a second, and even if it's not about your haunted house, if it's something else you got going on, or anything like that, anything that you want to advertise, man, we'll put it out there for you. So, John, Flo, take it away for a minute.
Go for it.
Me? Okay, well, you're better on the location stuff, but we're in Perrysville, Ohio, 155 West 3rd Street, and he's better with the location. We're, in a school that was built in 1924, and I always look at all the detailing and think, they must have been so proud, because 1924 was a rough decade, and they must have been so proud to give this building to their children. And when I first saw it and people were talking about demolishing it, I thought it would be very sad to have that lost.
Yeah.
To give credit to Kathy Boone from Ashland Economic and Joe Egerton from Perrysville Economic that really saw a vision when they heard about us that, hey, this could be the right place for you. Because a lot of the people here did not want to see, they want to see this building preserved, and part of it is we would like to see this building preserved. I think it's a beautiful place.
Well, from what we've seen so far, it's gorgeous, man. It's just the outside of the building, all of it.
For us, it's pretty cool. MohicanHauntedSchoolhouse.com. So anything Mohican Haunted Schoolhouse will get you there. Got a website up and running. This year we
The ticket window closes at a particular time, and because I feel that I'm not going to just keep going just because.
People have a right to
Go home.
To go home.
People
I
need
mean,
sleep.
if you've got, most of them got other jobs and other lives and stuff like that, so we always got to kind of think,
They have responsibilities.
we're not just going to run everyone ragged, because it does take a lot of energy to make it through the haunt season. So if we can, it's got to be fun.
Yeah, something like
That's
this for
been
sure.
really our thing. We've been doing this from the home haunt stage all the way up to now, really because of the fun of it. And if it's not fun, and the thing is with the haunt, as you get more professional, there's bills and bills and bills and bills. It's not about
Well, there's
just
always
fun.
bills.
But you got to remember to make it fun, even though when there's so much stuff that you got to worry about as a normal business haunt. I mean, you got to remember why you're doing it so that you don't burn yourself out, because it's real easy to turn, we got to make gobs of money. You got to pay the bills.
In
That's
14
the goal.
days. You have 14 days.
You've got your
something
haunt
insane.
season or something like that.
14 days to
so
make
you gotta
your
make
money
it
for the
decent.
year.
But you really are always thinking, I mean, we're still like the whole direction change and the queue line change. We're always thinking, when we go to a haunt and we experience that somewhere else, it's awesome. And you don't forget about stuff like that. I mean, we go through Erebus and other haunts that we've been through years ago. We're like, they were so cool. That was so awesome. I mean, it's stuff that just burns in your brain and you don't ever forget it. You might just die remembering some of the fun places you've been. And that's kind of what we want to create, is a place that people really come back because they had a fun time.
Very cool.
And a place that the actors want to be. We need more actors too. So we always need more. So if there's more, we've got a lot of real estate to fill. So it's
Perfect.
we want to make it fun across the board.
So, number one, thank you all so much again for taking the time. Sit down and talk with both of us. Really cool operation y'all got going on. I cannot wait to see it in full tilt tomorrow night and see what all y'all got, especially the Dead and Breakfast.
Well, that's lit up now, so you can take a look at
You can
it.
take a peek.
We're going to go check it
We
out.
can show them the first.
So as we told you, we were going to take you behind the scenes. That's where we are right now at the entrance, heading down into the attic of this beautiful, beautiful place that they got going on right here. That lady has seen better days for sure. This has never happened before, guys.
So it just kind of sets you up to get you into the mood.
The detail in this place is incredible. The footprints all over the floor. making the right calls.
We don't have, I don't think there's anyone in here.
Come here. Come here. I'm the one. Hey, kid. Hey, get me out of here. Hey,
Oh,
get
that's
me out of
perfect.
here.
That's a
Don't walk
little
up here
room.
for me.
And when he painted the windows, it was a little humid and street and it was perfect. I love the look. I said leave it.
There's a trick to this place is we're totally blacked out, so we can run in the daytime just as much as we can at night. But in the daytime, you kind of get this warehousey effect.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Do you do a lot of time girls in here during the daytime during the holiday season? What time do you guys usually?
We usually open around 7, so that's still light, you know, in the fall from about 8, 8:30, and it quickly gets dark. But this way we're up and running, like for this event right now, we can.
Actors came up because I thought this was cute, the teachers had. So sometimes you come in and our actors have added things.
And I gotta tell you, when I was first working on this room, again, late at night in the wintertime, I heard like little kids' voices playing. And I was working up front, didn't have the hot going, just had lights on. Like hear little kids playing, like at a playground. And I'm like, this is weird, you know? So I go outside, I look out front, I look at the side, because we've got a large side yard here, and I'm like, nah, it's cold outside, a little bit of snow. There's no kids out there playing. Come back in, hear little kids playing, rustling around again, like little voices. That was one of the nights where after like the second and third time during the night, I was like, I know I don't have soundtracks going, I don't have anything turned on, nothing's making that noise. I think maybe I'm tired for today. I'm just gonna call it a day.
This was the border in the library. There's the maternity board, so I kept some of it. And these were left in the school, and even these papers up here were left over, I think. So we actually found a few things that kids left.
Can I leave that old chair here, or do I have to put it away?
That was found in the boiler room, that chair, and
That wood
we
chair?
think that's where the janitor used
When we
to
bought
hide.
this was back in one of the, it's called like a little air tunnel, back behind where furniture and stuff doesn't go. And that used to be the hideout for janitors in the old days would climb into the circulating parts of the lower level by the boiler room to grab a cigarette break. Well, story is one of them passed away. They didn't know he was in there for a while. And that was the chair. We were wondering when we bought the building, like it's so weird to have this old rickety chair in that corner where it's down in the cellar and there's like no furniture, no reason for it to be there.
Just like she said, thumbprints. Thumbprints.
Yeah.
Well, that's what the paranormal people
So I
said they
dragged it up here, now
discovered.
everyone's like, oh, I'm gonna put that.
I've never
I
heard
thought it
that
was just
story
the little wooden
myself.
chair that was here, part of the school.
I love the rooms like this. It gives you a nice breakup.
I think this Candy Crush would be so cute in a theater that he did here.
Even the detail when you look at some of these, you realize like there's more to it. Like this thing on the end, where are the little eyeballs?
They're the little berry faces.
Oh, down here, the little berry faces. I mean, you think it's like, you don't even realize what it is.
And they're puking green.
And their little faces puking green stuff. And you're like, well, that's kind of cool.
I just credit myself a lot. I think, oh, you know, it's got Maxwell. But then when you come through, you think,
No. No, I love what you guys have done.
Look creepy and stuff like that. That's very
and I call this area old school because it's kind of a tribute. I grew up watching Little Hand and Big Chuck.
Yeah.
Which was a local building at the Monsters movie on 11:30 every Friday. And what we'd like to do is Our friend Alan is going to make us a shock fence this year.
Very cool. Very cool. Shock fence is coming.
And I usually, if I'm up here breaking an after I have my fence, and just kind of conceal all things. I can't let the probe you. Your ear. You have a dirty mind. Our yard hunt.
All like simple stuff.
So I love that he's drunk.
Made out
Of
of
course, I
everyday
thought
stuff,
that
you
would
find
be
the store
fun.
and put it together. It just looks fun and cool, so we just keep running with it.
I mean, he should have been drinking Bud Light. Other than that,
Always kind of walk you through and get you in different moods and different. You like not expecting one room after the next, kind of.